Hello community, I hope you are doing good. In this discussion we will see how to create a date field, and in case you missed previous discussion about how to create a JSON field, please check link is given in the description. And if you want to learn more about Odoo, please visit the WebLearns channel. Under the home you can see Odoo 17 development tutorial is here, and currently we are working on this playlist. And by the way, this is the main playlist for the Odoo 17. So all these two are the sub list, and upcoming sessions also different topic wise I'm also trying to create a different playlist, right? So in case you want to learn different topics, so you can directly choose the specific playlist similar like this one, Odoo development, and this is the older versions, right? It's a mix of the Odoo version 14, 15 and 16. So you can see here different types of playlist available with the different topic wise with the real test cases. So let's back to our main topic. And before that guys, if you didn't subscribe this channel, please subscribe. It will motivate me and it will help me a lot. So let's back to our main topic. And yes guys, one more thing is please visit also the community tab. Here I'm always adding some informations about the new technologies as well as some quiz. Alright, so also try to provide here the answers. Alright, so yeah, so let's say how to create a date field. So for that, right, we are going to our custom module, and if you remember last time we created this JSON field, right? Now we are trying to create a date field. So let's say joining that equal to fields.Date. Okay, so this joining date is the variable. This joining date you can treat as a field name. You can add anything after that equal to, and fields is always compulsory, and you have to import from Odoo like this, from Odoo import fields. So this fields package always create a specific type of fields. All right, you can see like this. So let's say we created a date field. So for that we have to create also here date, D-A-T-E, right? And after that let's add this field to the specific view, right? So let's say field name. And guys, if you remember, like whenever we create add new fields, right, in the Python or the XML side, we have to compulsory upgrade the module. So right now I'm upgrading module from the PyCharm. In case you don't know how to configure Odoo in PyCharm, please check editor level playlist. I already explained. And once I restart the service, it will automatically upgrade this module. And here I'm going to student, and I'm trying to open here this form view, and now you can see the date field is here. And once you click here, you can see it will open the calendar view, right? You can choose the specific date like this. So this is a simple date field. Now let's talk about the different attributes, supported attributes. Okay, here you can see one more interesting thing is we didn't provide any label name, right, for this field here. So by default it will take the field name, and let's say the field you already assigned with the multiple words, right? Let's say the joining and the date, and between that you can see here the underscore. So what happened is Odoo automatically remove this underscore, and two words, right, automatically convert into the first character as a capital. And now you can see here joining date. Okay, so it will remove the space, the D and J is the capital, and after it will display the label name. Let's say if you want to change the label name, right, as per your convenience, then you can use here the string. This is supported by the character information values, right? So let's say joining DT. Okay, and here we have to just upgrade the module and refresh the screen. Now you can see before this refresh you can see like this, and after refresh you can see joining DT, right? Another thing is, in case you don't want to provide here string also, right? So by default it will treat in the double quote or the single quote. If you provide here any string value, right, it will automatically convert as a label. So you don't need to specify string in case you don't want. Okay, so let's say just date, right, and I'm trying to upgrade this module. You can see here date, right? Now, one more interesting thing is, once you create this date field, right, in the database level, it will also store as a date field, not the character field. Here you have to remember one more thing. So let's see here, like in the terminal, wb underscore student. Let me open like this. You can see joining date and the date. This is the date field. Okay, so in case you are trying to add any non date format, right, like this, then once you save the record, right, it won't be save that record and it will automatically taking the previous value. And yeah, once you click to outside of this field, right, so it will taking this value, the default value. So let's say here I'm adding something like this, right, and once I click to outside of this field, you can see it's a blank. Let's say if you assign the specific field like this, right, and after you add something like this, so it will take the previous value. So this is the beauty of the date field here, right? Another thing is read only. Sorry. So read only supports the integer, right? Let's say it's treat as a 1 as a true and 0 as a false. So by default it's a false, I mean the 0, right? One is this field is completely read only. So in a front end side, let's say if you want to display this field, so it's no more editable like this. Okay, now you can see I'm trying to click to this field, but it's not open the calendar view, right? So this is the use of this read only attribute. Now let's say required, right? So let's say there is some fields we need to required, compulsory, mandatory, right, while you create a record, or like let's say while you update the record. So during this time, in case this field is empty and while you are trying to save, so it will say like date field is mandatory, and you can see it will convert into the red color. And yes, of course, according to your theme, it will display this color, but right now I'm using the community, so you can see like this color. All right, now let's say if I will choose the specific date and save, it's working fine. So this is the purpose of the required, right? Now the main thing is here the default. So what is the purpose of the default, right? So here, let's say you want to add the default date, right? Let's say the current date, or let's say the previous any of the date or future date, then you can use here the date. Here we need to pass always the date format. In case I'm passing here any random data, then it won't be work. Let's see. So once I click to the new button, right, and now you can see it will throws this error, right? So it's good, you can provide here the correct data, but now the question is how you will provide here the specific date, right? So either you can use something like this 23, sorry, 24, the month, let's say 12, 0. You can see it will display like this, December month 2024 and the first date, right? But now question is, so is it possible to add the current date, right? Let's say today if I will click to the new button, so it will automatically populate here the current date only. So yes, that is also possible. So I'm giving you some different let's say examples, so you will aware. All right, so let me comment this part, this code. This is for your reference purpose. I'm trying to also push this code to the Git repository. So you will find these modules on that GitHub repository to refer this module. Okay. So here we are using, if you remember guys, I already told you like fields, right, package having many useful packages, right? Useful tools which we can directly use. So here I'm giving you one more small example. Let's say in case you want to provide here the current date, right? So here you can use dates, right? Date, right? Today, like this. Refresh the screen and now you can see it will display the current date. So in this calendar view, right, you can see here the underscore red color, right? This red line in this specific field. So this, it says like this is the today's date. Let's say tomorrow if you open this calendar view, right, so it will, this red line automatically shift to here. So this is the way you can recognize today is this date, right? Also you can change your system that, so it will automatically taking that date. Okay, so yeah, like this way you can update the current date. Or let's say you can remove this one, right, and refresh the screen. It's also taking the same value, right? So either you can use with the call the method or without, like this. Another, oh, sorry, another way is like context today. Okay, and here just restart the service and refresh the screen, and now you can see. So let's say if I click to the new, it will taking the today's date. Okay, so like this way you can add the current date using the default. Yeah, another thing is, and very interesting, let me give you the start date and end date demo. Like start date, like I will use here the time format, so it will automatically convert the current year's start date and current year's end date. Okay, so for that I have to import time. Now here time.strf time, right, and in a double quote you have to mention the percentage y 01 dash 01 month and year. Okay, so this is the dynamic one. Time.strf time, like percentage y, here 12 and 31, right? So 12 is the December and this is the last date of the December, right? And this y, it will automatically convert into to current year. So let me add this field to the here, this form view, right, and upgrade the module. Now I will refresh the screen. Now you can see here, all right, there is some error. Oh, so yeah, sorry, my bad, I commented that out and refresh the screen. Now you can see it will taking the current year's January 2024 and end date is 31st December 2024, right? So like this way you can also add some format for the start or the end date, right, using the default attribute. Now another thing is help. So this help attribute automatically convert into HTML tooltip, and let's say what is the purpose, right? So tooltip purpose is, let's say you don't know what is the purpose of this field, right? So here like Odoo automatically provide the hint like what is this field and what is the purpose. So whatsoever we write down inside this context, it will display over there. So this is a static one, and you can see here the difference. Once you use the help, right, it will automatically, you can see the question mark, and you cannot see here that question mark because we didn't use here that help, right, attribute. So once I will hover here, you can see here provide here student joining that, this information, right, string information, it will take from here help. Another thing is, and very interesting, copy, and by default it's a true. Okay, So let me give you one example. Discard this one and let me take the existing record. Okay, so let's say this is existing record. This is the date, tomorrow's date, right? This one. Now let's say if I will duplicate, you can see it will automatically taking the today's date, right? Why it is like behave like this? So using the copy field. So let's say I'm using here this January 2, right? January 2, and let's say if I will click to duplicate, okay, so it will taking the same value. So duplicate, once you click to this action, so what it does is it will create a duplicate record along with the similar informations, right? Let's say while you duplicate this record and during that time you don't want to use this existing data, right? And instead of, either you can use the default value or you can set as a blank, right? So here this is the purpose of this copy field, and by default it's a true, and once you click to false, that means it will take here the default value, right? And in case the default value is not provided, then by default it's blank. So let's try. So we already done one scenario, copy false with the default value, right? But now we will see copy false without the demo field. So here, right, let me add here some content, the required field, and you can see this 24th January, right? And once I will duplicate, this is the new record, right? And it's set as a blank. Why? Because we didn't set default value. So in case you provide here the default value, then first priority is the default value while create a new duplicate record. Okay, so this is the main purpose of this copy equal to false, the copy attribute. Now let's talk about the same similar attributes here. So let's say string, right? So let's say you want to change the label, then you can use here like join dt, right? And you can see here it's a date, right? Now I will try to upgrade the module. Upgrade the module is compulsory while you change anything in the XML side. Refresh the screen, and now you can see join dt, right? So here, let's say if you already provide here the specific label, right, then the first priority is the XML side attributes. Okay, so here in this case it's provide here the string joining that, right? So it will convert this label, this fields label as this one, not the Python level field level attribute label. After that, let's say you can use here invisible equal to 1, right? So automatically this field hide from the GUI, from the here. Now you can see that field is automatically hide. Okay, another thing is read only 1, right? And refresh the screen. Now you can see this field is read only at the moment, so you cannot edit anything. And similar, you can use here the required equal to 1. Refresh the screen, and now let's say if I'm going to change, right, anything, and let's say required field is missing, then you can see the date field and address HTML field. So this is the HTML field, right? It's required. After that, the placeholder. So let's say once this field is empty, right? So during this time you can see this information, the string value, right? And once you hover here, it will also display the value, right? What is the main difference here is, right, once having some value, so that information, right, automatically remove, but this one is always visible here like this. So this is tooltip and this is placeholder. Okay, so this is the main difference here. Might be interviewer will ask you what is the difference between tooltip and placeholder as the HTML way. or they can also say like what is the difference between help and the placeholder. So you can easily answer now, right? So once the any specific field is blank, during that time the field level it will display the message, right? And once the value is there, then it will automatically hide, right? This is called as a placeholder. And as a label level, once you hover the question mark, right, it will display some basic informations about that specific field. That means it's a help or the tooltip. Okay, and another and very interesting attribute is index true, and there is many other supported indexes also available. So this index automatically create a new index in the Postgres site. So this attribute is not for the GUI purpose, right? As you can see this, that the label, default, help and copy, this is the functionality, right, in the Python as well as in the front end side it will, you can see, but this index you can see here like this. So this is the index, right? It will automatically create that index for that particular date. So what is the purpose, right? So while, like, let's say you want to search and you want to index your colon for the specific table, that time, during that time you can use the index. And yes, in case you don't provide any index name, then by default it will create a b-tree index. And what is index and what is the purpose, right? Please find out that beautiful topic in the Postgres site. Okay, so if you have any doubt related to this topic, please comment below, and see you in our next session. And our next session is how to create a date time field, right? You can see here you can only choose the date, right? But in our next video you can see also including the time. All right, so see you there.